Hey there, crafty friend. Suzanne here in the studio today with another sheet load of cards. This one I'm going to call Conquering the Scrapbooking Blues, and I'll show you why in a minute. This June 2021 sketch was revisited by Crafty Owl in June of 2023. She had a death in the family, so she was having to do a flashback instead of an original sheet load. Of course, we all understand that and are keeping her in our thoughts and prayers. So what did I decide to use for this? Well, several things that happened in my studio that meant that I had quite a bit of blue left. So let me show you some of those things to how we got to where we're going. First of all, I was finishing up some projects from Creating Keepsakes, and one of the classes I took at Creating Keepsakes was by Creative Memories, and it used their Garden Friends designer paper pack. And the point of the class was to show us how to use their templates. And they have these like plastic, like stencil templates that you cut and that you trace and then cut the individual pieces. And then by alternating paper, you can make really cool designs like this one. Isn't this pretty? I've already used this, in fact. It just gives you the flat part, and then from my stash, I added other things like chipboard, some of these brads of ladybugs, which are in this paper, some blue flower chipboard, so, and a green, what do you call that? Paisley sticker, so, or brad rather. So the picture's already in here. I cut a ring around here so that it encases or frames the circle. But this is my brother and one of his granddaughters on the occasion of her first communion. So I'm not going to show pictures of kids on my video. So there we go. But it was a very fun class, and they had lots of different templates, but I'm thinking I could also just use some of my own stencils. There might be a few of those where I could do the same thing. Instead of using a stencil to stencil, maybe use it as a pattern for scraps. So there was that. So when I got home, I didn't really have all that much paper left. I should mention they kind of do an unusual thing in that it's 6 pieces of paper. They're all double-sided, and they give you 3 of the designs. They give you 2 of each. But on the back of those 3 designs, they alternate the different patterns. So it's kind of an interesting way to do it, whereas close to my heart, you get 6 pieces, and there are 2 of each. So this gives you a couple more of the background patterns, which I found interesting. So for inspiration to use up the scraps, I went to the Close to My Heart blog and way back, and I found this. I've switched it up a little bit from what's on their blog, but basically you're framing your scraps here, and you've got these long strips leading into the circles. This would make an easy double page, but I did not have that much paper left in the right sizes to be able to do all of that. So then again, I added some more buggy brads and a few little gems and some ribbon and some flowers from my stash. So definitely on the blue theme. And I had a little bit of that left. Here's what I actually had left. I had quite a bit of this blue, and then I had some other scraps. And I thought, okay, that might be a start for this month's Show Me Your Sheet Load. Then I also remembered not too long ago in a video, I told you about the Lily Bee design. I had this one piece of blue paper with the brown on the back that I had not used up. I thought, well, maybe we could just throw that in too. We can get kind of a kit here going. And then as I was working on another project, I came across this blue typewriter paper scraps. I thought, okay, that's an interesting thing I could add in. And then because I had the typewriter paper, I had these little white Maya Road typewriters. So if I wanted to do some just a note kind of note cards, I thought that would be a good embellishment. Okay, so there you have it. Here's my little kit. And then here is my sheet load instructions. Shall we see how many cards I can get out of this? All right, back in a bit. Okay, from this reboot of the June 2021 sheet load of cards, let me show you what I made. I started with making the little typewriter cards. You can see I had that typed paper, and then here I'm just using cardstock. This Just a Note to Brighten Your Day. I don't even own that stamp. A friend of my sister's had gifted her some scrapbooking and card making supplies, and since my sister doesn't make cards, she paid forward the card making supplies, so there were some stamped images in here for Just Brighten Your Day, so I use those. Here, let me give you a close-up so you can get a little bit better look at that see-through acrylic typewriter. Very fun. Here I've added in some of the Creative Memories scrap paper. And here is a different Creative Memories. And then I've just added 2 or 3 or 4 enamel dots to each of those. So very cute, I think. All right, then more of that ladybug and bee paper from Creative Memories. Here, this Thinking of You sentiment is from a Close to My Heart stamp set that was in their subscription box for card kits. So those have proved useful over and over again. Here's another version. The honeycomb outline is actually a Craft Consortium Tell the Bees clear stamp sets by Hackney and Company. Very fun stamp set. I've used that on a layout already as well. And here's another one. Again, we're just using a few enamel dots around the center 2-inch circle. And then here's another one. So I got 7 cards in all, and then tossed the rest of my scraps because there wasn't anything worth using. Generally on scraps, if it's a scrapbooking scrap, it's got to be like, if it's going to be 12 inches long, it needs to be at least 1 inch wide. And if it's more of a blocky thing, it needs to be at least maybe 3 by 4 for me to keep. Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed this quick video where we've sort of chased the scrapbooking blues away, haven't we, by making cards, using up lots of blue paper. As always, I appreciate your time and attention. I'd really appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe. Bye for a bit.